Alright, and we are back for another Ketroc loss, and this one's on Delta Quadrant versus a Zerg opponent, Ragnarok. A Zerg Underworld opponent or something. What is Ragnarok from, anyways? Seen it in World of Warcraft. I think I've seen it in, like, that Thor comic. It's a Viking devil? I don't know. Yeah, so this is going to be typical for me. I'm going for my fast expand build order. This is obviously a map I do not like a whole lot, just because my fortress is down here, my ramp is up here. My fortress really doesn't give any support to my ramp whatsoever. Unlike, you know, Metalopolis and Lost Temple, it gives some support, or Steps of War, it gives like ridiculous support. But at least there isn't easy to take third base later on right here, which is always nice. And Zerg is just going for a lot of drones and spawning pool. And only one gas, and he's actually pulled his guys off of gas. He's got 100 gas saved up, so I guess that's just for the metabolic boost. Pretty smart play. You just get the gas you require, and then may as well put everything back to minerals afterwards if minerals are the key to your build. Which it is, as he's going for a second hatchery. So my scout does make it in. And I spot that there's no layer tech going, and he's just got a spawning pool. So definitely thinking about Baneling bust at this point. I guess I'll just rewind it a bit. What do these Zerglings get here? Alright, so Zerglings do arrive. Oh, just got that command center done in time. And sending off this SCV anywhere. And sealing up the wall. So I'm in good shape here. And again, I do not come out to this command center until the fortress is done. Just for this reason, I don't want them harassing our SCVs. They gotta be a little bit careful. You don't want them to be able to take down your fortress while it's in production. But yeah, 1,500 hit points is quite a bit. So I'm able to transfer out now. So maybe got all my SCVs at the same time. I think I'm going to repair maybe one of these. There we go. Just one guy just to get this fortress back to a good amount of health. And I kind of just want to pause here, see what I've scouted thus far. So I've still only scouted the spawning pool and the Baneling's nest. And I think I've only used one chunk of orbital command energy. I usually use my second chunk to scan my opponent. I find that's a good time to find out what layer tech he's up to, or in this case, if he's going for Baneling bust. I guess I should proceed this. Not everyone knows what Baneling bust is. Baneling bust is when you ram a bunch of Banelings into the wall, break the wall open, and then flood in with speedlings and end the game. It's kind of more of an all-in strategy from Zerg. It's not a very economical one, but he does have an expansion, so I guess he can transition. So again, just taking another peek at my front line. I do have the energy to scan. Let's see what I use it for. Banelings are morphing. Did I scan? I did not scan, but I guess I'm almost certain of the Baneling bust. So notice I am planting down a factory on this wall. Delta Quadrant, you really have to think about how you're setting up the wall, because if there's a Baneling bust coming, you don't want to ever allow it so that a supply depot is the difference between letting speedlings in your base or not. So notice I am putting up a factory right here, and that gives me a solid seal like this way across. So even if you bust through this supply depot, I'm still sealed off. Another reason we're going factory is I've had success with this in the past, although I think I'm going to stop doing it. If I tech quickly to Banshees versus Baneling bust, often he won't be going for a hive, and I'll be able to come in with my cloaked Banshees, and he'll have nothing he'll be able to defend it against. But that's almost all in itself. I mean, if he does get detection, I just let him back into the game. So I think my better response from now on would just be to mass up my Marine and Marauder force and go that direction. So So the Banelings are morphing, but I have completed my much more solid wall. Notice these buildings are much tougher, 1250, 850, 1000. So he blows through my supply depot, but he's not going to get very far. Clean up the remainder of his force. Go to the unit's loss tab. It's 22 over 3. And sending some SCVs out to repair. Two things I've been doing maybe since this match, maybe this is the one that taught me my lesson. When people go Banelings and it fails, often they just go more Banelings and they keep trying and trying and trying. So one thing I want to do now is I leave SCVs at my front line just on auto repair so they can immediately start repairing. Another thing is I get the structure armor upgrade for my buildings. It doesn't have much of an effect versus the Banelings, but it has a huge effect versus the Speedlings. So if he has to finish off a wall with Speedlings, the high armor on my buildings will make the Zerglings do almost no damage at all. I'm coming into repair. Got 2 buildings in the red right here. Only pulled 3 SCVs instead of more. And that's it. They're just going to come flooding in, and I just don't have the forces to handle this, especially since I was teching towards Banshees. Another problem with teching towards Banshees is I don't have like an army and sewer lines on the wall. So I think this is definitely okay. I'm going to GG any moment here. Oh, first I'm going to complain first. Zerg OP. Oh my God, I'm lagging so much. At least my excuses are honest. I was rusty. Honestly, Baneling busts are usually like a pretty easy win for me. As long as I've set up my wall correctly, then I know I can seal it off. Delta Quadrants, Zelnaga Caverns, and Kulos Ravines are the ones you really got to think about your wall. There's very specific ways you got to set it up, in that you can, allow yourself to get in and out, and at the same time, well, I guess I didn't here, but to make it Baneling proof is it's kind of difficult on those maps, so you got to really plan it out well. So yeah, I guess I'm going to kind of talk about why I screwed up here. First of all, don't go for the Banshees, like I said. Yeah, it makes it a nice easy win when it works. I mean, oh, you don't have any layer, let alone detection. Auto win. But it's really not necessary. You can just get an army, and the fact that he's blowing all these resources on your front door, and often he won't have a large economy at the same time. A lot of people Baneling bust off of one base. He went 2, but he's still behind me in economy, I'm sure. Well, he's not, but anyways, I still like it better than rushing Banshees. So you need to recognize that he's kind of all in with this strategy, so mostly what you have to do is just defend it. So why is it necessary for me to leave all these SCVs back here? Keep 3 at the front door. And then as soon as you see the Baneling, start pulling more. You want to get all this repair going non-stop. And then next, you want structure armor upgrade on your engineering bay. I mean, that will give a building that has 1 armor, 3 armor. So what does that mean versus Banelings? Not a whole lot. Let's find one's finished. So I'll give this Baneling, instead of doing where's the building one? Instead of doing 79 damage, it's now doing 77 damage to structure. So does it help a lot versus Banelings? No, absolutely not. But versus Zerglings, instead of doing 4 damage, now they're doing 2 damage. So that cuts the damage of Zerglings in half versus building. So in the case like this, where the Banelings come in and actually just get everything down to the red, now at this point where these buildings are in the red, instead of these Zerglings doing 4 attack each, like, he's got, say, 4 Zerglings attacking each building, so that's like 16 damage a hit. Instead of 16 damage a hit, it would be 8 damage a hit between the 4 of them, which really isn't that much. And even though I only pulled 3 SCVs, that probably would have saved me and would have won me the game, although that next run of Banelings might have hurt. Yeah, so structure armor upgrade, nice little help, and then obviously everything you have should be dedicated to saving this wall. Build up your army behind, which also would have saved me in this game, and send enough SCVs to like over repair your front line. You don't want to cut it close. You want to really have this thing repaired. You leave 2 or 3 at your front line, and then pull another 5 or so once you see the Banelings come pouring in. And that is the way I stop the Baneling bust. if he has to work up enough Banelings to actually be able to blow through like a full hit points barracks, hopefully that by that point you'll have out the Marines and Marauders to be able to handle the Speedlings. So yeah, that's another loss, and maybe I'll do a couple more, then we'll end this series. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.